Your cylinder testing is really comprehensive when you take it to a dive center for obvious reasons. It starts with a visual check of the external condition of the cylinder. I mentioned that earlier. Stickers and wraps and boots are removed from the cylinder so that they can check the entire external size of the cylinder for any corrosion or even like sort of dimples in paint, because in some cases rust can travel underneath the actual enamel coating. You can usually see this kind of bubbling effect to it, so that's what they're checking for. Then when the cylinder is completely vented and empty, the valve is popped out so they can check on the inside. They usually use like one of those scopes with a light on the end, and they check out the inside of the tank again to check for corrosion. Both the thread in the neck of the cylinder and the valve itself is tested with go and no-go gauges to make sure that each thread hasn't stretched or warped or pitched in any way, and they're both exactly the correct thread to go together. That's your basic visual, but a hydro test. Your cylinder is lowered into a pressure pot, which is filled with water. Your cylinder itself is filled with water, which is, I know, is a usual no-no, but they dry it thoroughly afterwards. And that amount of water is connected to a little gauge on the outside of that pressure pot, because basically if something goes bang, it just goes pump. You feel it in the ground, but you're safe. And that little gauge, you can see the water level change as the cylinder is pressurized. It's pressurized to the test pressure, and you can see how much the tank expands by the water level. But more importantly, you can see if that water level returns to what it was when it depressurizes. Ideally, it should return to exactly what it was at the start, but if it doesn't, that usually means that your tank has stretched a little bit, and now of course it's failed the test. There's a bit more to it, but that's a quick breakdown of what happens during a cylinder test. Afterwards, yeah, they re-sticker it, they stamp it up, so it's good to be filled for another however long, depending on where you live. Sometimes it's a year, sometimes it's 2.5. But yeah, that's a quick breakdown of what happens.